Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to XRL X2 in Season 5, Round 10 in Belgium at Spa-Francorchamps. I am XRL Fiend and I'm going to be joined a little bit later on by Kenzie Retro. So, just before we get going, just a quick standings update for you. In the Constructors, Mercedes is top with 152 points, Williams in second with 125 points, and Red Bull third with 108 points. Haas in fourth with 91 points, McLaren in fifth with 88 points, AlphaTauri in sixth, 67 points, Ferrari in seventh, 66 points, AlphaTauri with 67 points, Ferrari with 66, Aston Martin in 8th with 61 points, Alfa Romeo in 9th with 37 points, and Alpine in 10th with 14 points. In the Drivers' Championship, Prudish Medal is leading with 86 points, XRL Waldo in second with 73 points, Asmo in third with 66 points, Smooth in fourth, 57 points, and Dino in fifth with 54 points. And I'm now joined by Kenzie Retro. How are you doing this evening?
Well, I'm still trying to recover from the chaos that was the X1 race earlier this evening.
Yeah, X1 was quite eventful. So was X3 as well. Both races had a lot of drama.
The driver's starting to ready up now as we get ready for the last race of tonight's XRL coverage before we head into a brand new week tomorrow with ARL, and we've also got European Formula Racing, PRL as well, and then we're back here next week at the land of the Supermax for Zandvoort.
Yeah, really looking forward to see Zandvoort. But right now, we have Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. And drivers just beginning to select their only tyre choice. I was rather surprised actually to see earlier on today that the strategy choice it gives you is either a soft medium or a medium soft.
Well, it is relatively easy to do either strategy around this track anyway.
That is true. I mean, it's only 22 laps, but because it's such a long track.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the longest track on the calendar, 4.3 miles, 7 kilometers, if we're going by the metric system.
Yeah. And with a long track means that it's very difficult sometimes to keep control of the car as well. Lots of places that can be where drivers can maybe lose a little bit of traction.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you just summed it up right there. There's a number of areas on this track where it's easy to just lose the back end. I mean, Eau Rouge Radion, the Les Combes chicane, Pouon as well. And we saw it in X1, the Camper chicane, Stavelo, and there was a couple of spins at the bus stop chicane as well.
Oh yeah. Wow, yeah, that's a lot more than I thought actually. Because I know Eau Rouge, I know the bus stop chicane as well, but there's all in the middle as well.
Yeah, indeed.
But drivers are just starting to come out of the pits now. Plastic Love is the first driver out.
Yep, so we'll go through the lineup quickly, unless you've already done that.
You can do that.
Yeah, so the lineup for this X2 race this evening. It's been a while since I've commentated on X2, but I'm just going to treat it like any other race I've commentated on. We've got Fine Waldo at the top of the time sheets. We've got Dino. Edgar, he'll be out with... he'll be looking for a bit of redemption after the drama of the X1 race. If you haven't seen it yet, it is up on our YouTube channel right now if you want to relive the drama of that race. Pelly with a 3 instead of an E, Prudish Medal, Ocean Line, Careless Jackson, Gusty, Zola, Fable, Smooth, Lone Retreat, Vertix, another driver filling in as an X1 reserve earlier this evening. Jeebus John, one of my former teammates in XRL as well. RB Lama, Mr. Anderson, Torpedo, Low, and Whippy. And Waldo retiring from the session. He is serving a qualifying ban. And I mentioned it in X1 earlier, and I'll bring it up here again. We'd like to wish Anthony Waddington, who's one of our X1 drivers, a very speedy recovery after he tested positive for COVID. I was made aware of it at the start of the X1 stream this evening, and there goes Plastic Love.
Oh my goodness!
How on earth he didn't DNF is beyond me.
Oh my goodness! How is he still alive?
Yeah, exactly. The only damage I can see is the loss to his front wing completely, but he might have sustained a bit more than that.
Yeah, he's a lucky boy. Is Plastic.
Yeah, that would be a bit of an understatement. So it'll be Low that's our lead car now. He's coming up towards Puon now.
Yeah, let's have a watch. He just goes around Puon. But as you were saying before Plastic's crash, Kenzie, yeah, hoping Wado has a speedy recovery, because it's not fun having COVID. Not fun at all. So hopefully he can get well soon and get back to racing.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no doubt he'll be watching from there. No doubt he'll have been watching from home, and he'll be thinking, if he did see the X1 drama, he'd have been thinking, I'm glad I'm not in that race tonight, because of the 19 drivers that started the race, only 11 finished after paths crashed towards the tail end of the race with just a couple of laps to go. Low, meanwhile, he's top of the timesheets with a 43.944, just 3 hundredths ahead of Edgar.
Yeah, a good lap time from XRL Low, putting him in first. Just having a look at Jeebus John as he approaches the bus stop chicane. See if he can go quicker than that. And he goes into third. So third fastest for Jeebus John, a 44.0.
They're pretty close for the time being, but we'll see. We'll get a more accurate picture as we see more times get completed.
Yeah, it's very early on in Q1, so still 12 and a half minutes left. Only 5 drivers have set a lap. Couple of them are on a lap at the minute, but yeah, early days. Right
yeah,
now.
And of course we'll be losing the slowest 5 cars from this part of qualifying. Yellow flags between sectors 2 and 3, like right on the borderline for the sector, and that is one of the Mercedes who's had a bit of an off, and it's Dino. Dino spun it on the entry into Stabilo.
Hopefully he has the fuel to do another lap. If not, he'll be going... Or, I didn't see if he had damage either, so hopefully he's not got damage and he's got the fuel. Just having a look at Vertix, about to cross the finish line. Vertix goes into second place, 43.9. Less about 5 thousandths of a second in front of Edgar. And about 3/10 behind Lowe. So at the minute, it's an Alfa Romeo 1-2.
Yep. This, you'll say the top three are all Ferrari powered as it stands. And we've got more drama. That's the campus.
Oh,
That is the campus section of the track, and that was Lone Retreat that had an off. I think he's lost an end plate. We'll see if we can get a better picture. Yes, he has lost an end plate, unfortunately.
Let's see if I can. Yeah, it looks like he has maybe lost an end plate or something there. Smooth goes into 7th, 44.5. Whippy's on an outlap, Zola's on an outlap as well. So the Lone Retreat goes into the pit lane. Does have that wing damage, and we'll be replacing that as soon as he gets in. Plastic Love just started his lap.
Yeah, he'll be having another go.
He will.
One of the probably the biggest news story from this week, as far as the world of Formula One is concerned, is that Qatar is going to be on the F1 calendar this season. As Zola's had it off, and he's actually DNF'd.
Yeah, at the end of the straight.
That's the end of the Kemmel Straight. How on earth has he done that?
I'm really not sure. Let's see if we can have a look at Mr. Anderson. Let's see if we can see where. Oh wow, he must have just.
That is a really.
He's not on the racing line.
Yeah, but still, that is a strange place to lose it.
It is. It is. All I can think maybe is that he lost traction under braking, but that's quite difficult to do, I think.
He got taken out by a billboard. That is really unlucky.
Yeah, very unlucky there.
Yeah, and Zola did inform me when he was doing X1 earlier that he's actually wearing Waddington's helmet tonight as sort of a mark of respect to so that in a way Waddington is still spiritually at the track, which I was like, massive props to Zola for doing that. See, he hit the board and it threw him into the wall while he was towing Whippy. Whippy being Zola's teammate. So that's 2 races running that Zola has been. That's 2 races running that Zola has crashed out of Q1.
Who's next to settle up? So, Ocean Line. Fable's invalidated, unfortunately for him. Oh, we've got a spinner. It's XRL Dino. Just as he's going into the pit lane, spins around.
Oh my word, he's done it again. British Medal, meanwhile, he goes into P1 at the moment with a 43.1, half a second quicker than Lowe.
Good lap time. I think we'll be seeing a few 42s going into Q3 later on in this qualifying session.
Still waiting on Plastic Love, Pelly, Ocean Line, Fable, Lone Retreat, and Mr. Anderson to set a lap time. So with Waldo and Zola out, with Waldo serving his qualifying ban and Zola crashing out, that leaves us with only 3 more drivers left to eliminate from this first part of qualifying.
Yeah, Low in the chat saying I had my fun for 2 minutes. It may have been a little bit longer than 2 minutes, but it was fun while it lasted. And Zola saying that he finished P6 in Dev after DNF in Q1, and in X1 he finished P9 after a DNF in Q1, and in X2 he's DNF'd Q1, so that means that it's a top 10 finish coming up.
And in XNA earlier in the week, DNF'd in qualifying, and he finished P7.
I think that's guaranteed top 10 then. I think he might be right here.
Yeah, you never know.
Mr. Anderson's just gone into P11 with a 1:44.4. Literally 1,000th of a second behind 10th place Careless Jackson.
Well, Nath, our race, Nath the X1 race, Nath who won the X1 race earlier this evening, he was 7 thousandths away from starting in the top 10.
It's crazy. The cars are so close. The drivers are so close together in timings that it can be difficult, really difficult to predict who will start where. Like who's going to get through.
And especially with how close the X1 drivers are on a regular basis. I mean, I think it was like last week or the week before that that we saw, for me, the closest qualifying session I had ever seen in my commentary career. I mean, we had the top 15 separated by just over a second, and then
wow,
you thought that was crazy. You had the top 10 that got through into Q3 separated by less than 3/10.
That's crazy. Honestly, 3/10 of a second's mental.
Yeah, 3/10
Literally a blink of
separating
an
the top
eye.
10. Yeah, absolutely staggering.
That's crazy, isn't it? That's really crazy, really. Let's hope we get something similar here. As drivers are just going into the pit lane, so not that much happening out on track. A few drivers are on outlaps. Edgar, RB Llama, Careless Jackson on outlaps. Edgar's just started his lap actually, and a couple more are coming out. And Fable's joined, I'm not sure why. Oh, yeah.
Oh, disconnection.
And yeah. I saw 20 drivers and thought, why is he there? Oh, because he disconnected. Mr. Anderson looks like he may be on another lap.
But I think given where he is on the timing sheets right now, I don't think he should be overly concerned, because P4 with
he'll be
with a 43.7, that should comfortably see him through into Q2.
Actually, yeah, looking again, I don't think he is, because he's saving his ERS. So let's have a look at XRL Edgar. He's just coming up to P1.
And he is up on his best time at the moment.
And Zola in the chat saying he just needs 10 cars to DNF. Judging from what we've seen this weekend, it's not unlikely.
Yeah. Oh, plastic glove's gone.
Oh no!
That is on the exit of the Lacombe chicane. Yeah, he's put it into the wall.
Oh, Prudish medal. I think he may have retired in the pits though.
He's happy with his time.
Yeah, not surprising. 43.1 is a good time. He'll be through with that. Definitely through with that. I think Dino's just started a lap. Careless Jackson and RB Llama are coming to the end of their laps as well. So let's have a look, see if they can improve. Whippy retiring in the pits, currently sat in P5.
Really, Zola, you're going to remind me of that one? Really? I couldn't get into the pit lane. You're really going to remind me of that? I got disqualified through no fault of my own.
RV Llama's gone into third place, 43.6.
Yeah, that'll comfortably see him through.
It will. So, next across the line that'll be setting a lap time will probably be Dino, unless anything happens.
Yeah. Ocean Line will have time to do another lap. He had invalidated. Pelly is not.
Nah, Pelly still in the pits, won't have time to come out now and set a lap time with only about 30 seconds left.
So that's him out. So we're just waiting on one more driver to get eliminated. The next couple of weeks are going to be pretty action-packed across the XRL because we've got Zandvoort, like I mentioned, Zandvoort next week, and then the week after that, the Temple of Speed at Monza.
I'm looking forward to Monza. Monza's going to be a great race.
Yeah,
love that track.
Yeah, it's definitely up there as one of my favourites on the calendar, next to the likes of Japan, Silverstone, Austria, Brazil. So those are up there as some of my favourite tracks on the calendar.
Oh yeah, Monza, Belgium, where we are
definitely.
today, Suzuka, Austria, all of those that you said are really great tracks. Really, really good tracks.
Yep.
Ocean Lion getting to the line in time to set a lap, so he's on a lap. So is Fable. This will be his only lap time though for Fable.
As long as he doesn't invalidate the bus stop chicane.
Yep, needs to be quicker than a 1:45.3.
Yeah, you can actually see from some of those overhead shots with how red hot those brakes can get. He's right on the bubble at the moment. The 44.8.
Yeah.
That is Ocean Line's target.
The 44.8 for Ocean Line will do it. We have a yellow flag.
That's just one of the Mercedes drivers getting out of the way.
Let's ride on board as he approaches the bus stop chicane. Keeps it clean, maybe a little early on the throttle.
It's not quite enough. 45.3, that's him, he's out.
Yeah, he's out in Q1, unlucky. 45.3.
The Plastic Love, Ocean Line, Waldo, Pelly and Zola eliminated from Q1. That'll be a mammoth mountain to climb for Zola to get that top 10 finish he's after.
Yeah, and he'll need a little bit of luck to get there, but it is doable. It is doable. Fine Waldo starting in 18th after a quali ban, which isn't bad really considering.
Yeah, because again, taking into account the length of the track, all going well, he might be able to make up a couple of positions off the start.
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see, but here is confirmation of who's out in Q1. Plastic Love with a 45.3, Ocean Line with a 45.3 as well, and then Waldo with his qualifying ban. Pelly didn't get a chance to set a time, and Zola starting in 20th. The quickest was Prudish Medal with a 43.1, only a 10th ahead of the Lone Retreat and Dino in 2nd and 3rd. here we are. 15 minutes in Q2. And 15 drivers to set lap times.
Yep.
5 drivers will be leaving us, leaving a top 10. Hopefully a top 10 as long as nobody crashes out for Q3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and earlier on, we were talking about the strategy being a medium soft or a soft medium. So it'll be interesting to see which drivers, or which tyres the drivers choose.
Indeed. I mean, this. I will say this is one of those tracks where you can get away with starting the race on soft tyres.
Yes, as XRL Low is showing us right now by coming out on those soft tyres. So him and Edgar also on medium Edgar on medium tyres, Low on soft tyres. Of course.
And of course, for those that do get into the top 10, they will start the race on the tyres they set their fastest lap on in this second part of qualifying. Everybody else outside the top 10 will have free choice of tyre.
Yes. And this week we have the C2, C3 and C4 tyres. For those interested.
Yeah, right smack bang in the middle of the Pirelli range.
Yep. So XRL Low coming to the end of Sector 3, about to start his lap time. So we'll stay with him while he finishes his outlap. So he'll be the first to set a time. Oh, getting a little toe off his teammate who's on an outlap as well. That'll only help him out.
Well, who knows? Especially with it being the Kemmel Straight, it's one of the easiest places on the F1 calendar to make an overtake without much difficulty.
Yeah, it's a good place to overtake is the Kemmel Straight. Get a lot of speed from the slipstream and DRS.
So Low coming through Blanchimont now. We'll see what time he can pull out of the bag. Because with the lap deltas between softs and mediums, you're looking about a second a lap between the two compounds. So there we go, 43.4 for Low, and then you've got 44.6 for Edgar. We've got the Jabez John, he is just finishing his outlap. We've got one of the Red Bulls coming up to the bus stop chicane. It's Fable now. There's a couple of corners to go.
Fable on soft tyres as well, so should be quicker than Edgar, and he is, but not by as much as you would think. A 44.5 for Fable. It's only a tenth in front of Edgar, and RB Llama a 43.3 going into first place.
What a lap time that is!
Session. Great lap from him.
That is.
Really, really good lap. Can Gusty get close as he is about to cross the finish line. There's a 44.9 on soft tyres. Prudish just started a lap. Smooth will be next to cross the line.
Let's see what he can pull out the bag.
Yeah, he's on mediums.
So he'll be looking for that benchmark time of a 44.6 to beat 45.2. Oh, that's... I'm not sure if he'll be too happy about that one.
Yeah, he might be... If I was him, I'd be looking to go again. Doesn't look like that'll be enough just yet.
We've got Long Retreat, Fable's teammate. Coming up next, he's coming through the bus stop chicane now. Can he advance? Yes, he beat his teammate.
On medium tyres as well.
That is a very, very strong time there for Long Retreat.
Yeah, 44.3 on Lone Retreat, 44.3 on mediums. Fable sets another lap time and goes quicker than his teammate again with a 44.0. Still though, only 0.3 between them on tyres that are around a second slower. Or a second quicker, I should say, the soft tyres. Prudish with a 147.6. I'm not sure whether he made a mistake in his lap, but that looks to be the case. Mr. Anderson on an out lap. Smooth will be probably going into the pits, I believe. The Lone Retreat has invalidated his lap as well. So has Jebus. And Fable then.
We've got Vertex on an out lap at the moment, and we've got
Mr. Anderson
at Radion.
Mr. Anderson up Radion has DNF'd from Q2. Hasn't set a lap time, so
So
he'll
he'll
be
start
15th.
P15 regardless.
Yeah, he will. That is a shock. Let's have a look at Prudish then. See if, well, you would expect that he'd improve on his lap time. He's about 2.4 seconds quicker after sector 2. So that's looking at around a 144.2.
Which will put him 4th on those mediums, which will be a big advantage for him because he'll be able to go longer in the. He'll be able to go longer at the start before his first stop. Here he comes. They'll go 44.5, puts him 5th at the moment.
So currently in 5th. Not a bad lap. Oh, we have a slow low. Probably he's going to give his teammate the tow. That's why he's going so slow. Repaying the favour from earlier. As Vertex goes up over.
The thing is, his teammate's not on track.
His teammate has spun going up Eau Rouge, so that's that strategy out the window.
That was the Alfa Romeos. I thought we were on about the Alpines.
Yes. Nah, the Alfa Romeos low going really slow up Eau Rouge, and Radion trying to give his teammate Vertex a tow, and Vertex spins up Eau Rouge, so not worked out the best for those two. Who will be next? Torpedo's invalidated. And Llama has been disconnected. Prudish not setting a lap, which leaves which means Edgar can go through on his outlap. So we'll watch the Alpine then of Careless Jackson and he's on soft tyres. The current cut-off time is a 45.6 set by Torpedo, but that was on medium tyres. The slowest time on soft is a 44.9, so that's looking more like the benchmark for Careless. So approaching the bus stop chicane and onto the main straight. He goes into fourth, a 44.341. So the top four at the minute are soft runners, and then the next three are medium runners. So a good lap time from Careless could see him through, depending on what other drivers do. Let's have a look at Vertix, because the Alfa Romeos are trying it again. Let's ride on board. This time Vertix doesn't spin.
Well, he's quite close enough to get the full effect of the toe there.
Yeah, he didn't look close enough there, but it'll give him a little bit of a boost.
Yeah, probably, because they're probably looking at an extra couple of tenths.
Yeah, and on those medium tyres, any extra is a bonus really, just to go for the top 10. And someone in the chat saying the Iron Exo saying go Red Bull. Currently in 4th and 6th of the Red Bulls. Fable on softs, and the Lone Retreat's doing an outlap on mediums. And the Red Bull does let the Alfa Romeo past. Zola, hate Red Bull, go Aston.
Only a 45.5 for Vertix. It's not enough to get through at the moment. Does he have enough fuel to go for one more run?
Potentially. I'll just turn off the...
Oh, hang on, Lone Retreat's gone. Lone Retreat's tied.
Oh, yeah.
At the exit of the Lake Com chicane.
Yes. Yes, he has. And the Iron Exo has highlighted his message saying, all my homies love Red Bull. And the only reason Zola's saying go Aston is probably because he's running in the Aston in this race.
Yeah.
And and the Iron Exo highlights another message saying never mind.
That will be in reference to the Lone Retreat's DNF.
Yes.
And and Vertix has run out of fuel.
Oh dear, Vertix runs out of fuel, and Whippy has luckily actually Whippy's invalidated his lap. Doesn't get held up by Vertix in any event. So Torpedo will be the next. He's on a hot lap, and hopefully he doesn't get held up by Vertix. Yeah, Vertix getting out the way. Zola saying he has wings, good job he's in the Red Bull. Well, Zola, he'll need plenty of wings in the race if he carries on like that. That's all I can say. But Torpedo goes into fourth fastest. puts him through into Q3 as Vertix goes into the pits, running out of fuel. Smooth next to cross the line on soft tyres. Goes into 5th place with a 43.9, so that he's done enough there to get through to Q3. Jebus John goes into 6th fastest on softs. Gusty, though, invalidated his lap, will not be going through. Prudish then in P9, already guaranteed a Q3 spot, with only Whippy behind him to set a lap.
He's 8/10 up at the moment.
It all depends on whether he wants to start on softs or mediums, really.
Well, I think he'll be. I think he'll be somebody that will want to maximise his track position through the bus stop chicane, and he gets third.
Third fastest for Prudish. Good lap time with a 43.4. So, last driver to set a lap is Whippy, who's coming up to the bus stop chicane. Can he beat the 144.3?
He does! 43.7!
I think he does, yeah. A 43.7 for Whippy means that he is into Q3 right at the last second. Manages to set a lap time. In fact, goes into 5th fastest as well. So, leaving us in Q2 is Mr. Anderson, who got unlucky up Radion. XRL Dino, who didn't set a lap time. Vertix in 13th with a 145.5. Gusty in 12th with a 44.9. And the Lone Retreat with a 44.3. At the top of the grid is RB Llama in the Alpine with a 43.3. All the drivers in the top 10 are starting on softs. Zola saying D-I-N-O, not D-E-N-O. Well, Dino. Everybody knows who he is, I think. Dino lol. The INXO XRL Dino is the guy in the Mercedes who's not in Q3. Looks like Lowe is the first out on track again, followed by XRL Whippy. He was third in the championship in X3 last season. Was that?
And that would have been a more than valid case for him to. It was more than enough for him to argue his case for.
Yeah, to be
for placing next to, yeah.
Yeah. Currently in X2. Let's have a look. At the minute, Dino is sitting in 5th place as well in X2 with 54 points. So it's been a solid season for him so far. Zola now wants to be famous. Thanks to a bot in the chat.
Those bots are just the worst.
who doesn't want to be famous when there's a bot in the chat saying that you can be? Damn bots, but at least it's not the swearing ones.
Yeah, there is that.
And the Iron Exo highlighting his message saying, "All my homies love Kluka," aka the bot who sent the famous message. But I'll go back to the message I sent earlier. Oh, the message I sent earlier saying, "Who doesn't want to be famous?" I think everyone would at least like the chance. But XRL Low is on a lap, and he will be the first to cross the line. So let's get back to the action.
Yeah. Zola predicting the lap time will be around 43.2 roughly for their pole position time here.
And judging from what we've seen so far, that's looking like it could be the case. Can XRL Low get close to that time? We're about to find out. It is a 42.9.
0.3 quicker.
And Whippy does a 43.7. Whippy with a 43.7. Oh, RB Llama. Very close to spinning out there. And the Iron Exo predicting that it'll be a high 42.
Well, that's what we've got right now.
Yeah, at the minute we've got a 42. 42.9 from Low being the current pole time. Torpedo about to cross the line. Can he match that or better it? He can do a 44.6. Can Torpedo? Currently in third. Fable's invalidated, so the next cross the line will be smooth in the McLaren. And then it'll be Prudish. And Smooth goes third with a 43.7. Now then, Prudish, can he get into provisional pole?
Got a 42.9 to beat. No, he can't. A 43.8.
A 43.8 from Prudish is a surprising lap time. Thought maybe he could... get into at least the top 3. And maybe even into the 42s. RB Llama does get in... Well, nearly gets into the 42s. But does get on the front row with a 43.3. Solid from him. XRL Edgar invalidating and going into the pits. I need to just do this very quickly. There we go. And Torpedo invalidating his lap. So Fable as well is invalidated again. So he'll be wanting to maybe get into the pits and change his tyres. Get some fresh softs on and try again.
Indeed, he is running out of time.
Yeah, only about 5 minutes left in the session, and another problem with a long track is that it takes longer to do an outlap, so you don't get as many chances really to make mistakes that you could somewhere maybe like Zandvoort next week or Monza the week after. So, and Fable does go into the pits. Is Prudish going to go for setting another lap time? He is. Can he go quicker than he did before? He can. He can get into the 42s as well, but it's not quick enough to beat Low's time.
200s.
Yeah, 200ths of a second behind Lowe in second place with a 42.975. We have about 4 minutes left in Q3. Careless Jackson just starting his lap, so we'll stay with him. Well, there's a little bit of a quiet time here, only three cars out on track. And Smooth retires from the session. Feels like he's happy with his current time of a 43.7, so he will no longer be taking part in this session. Careless with a purple Sector 1. Not sure whether that's his personal best or whether it's a session best. We'll soon find out in about 50 seconds time. Low in the chat saying, OMG, can I make it stick? I'm hoping that you... I think you can. I think it'll be very close between you and Prudish, but I think you've got a chance. So Careless Jackson coming up to the pit stop chicane. Goes into 4th place with a 43.6. So at the minute, the Alpines are running 3rd and 4th, which would be good for. Be good if they could start there, because then they could maybe work as a team, or a bit of teamwork to maybe move up into like 1st, 2nd, or even a very defensive race and stay 3rd and 4th. XRL Edgar yet to set a lap, but is about to. Goes into 3rd place of 43.2. Another good lap. Another really good lap. Getting onto the 2nd row of the grid.
Indeed, yeah.
Apologies, Kenzie.
That's fine. A strong result here for the Alpine team tonight could see them lift themselves off the bottom of the Constructors' Championship. As it stands, they've only got 14 points from the 8 or 9 races that we've done so far this season. Mercedes, no big surprise, top of the standings with 152, and Williams are currently 2nd with 125, but they don't have but Williams don't have either of their drivers inside the top 10 though. Red Bull do have Fable, but is that going to be enough to potentially leapfrog Williams into 2nd place in the constructor standings?
Time will tell. I think time will tell there. A couple of big things have just happened though. Careless Jackson spins on the main straight.
And Fable's been at Radion.
And Fable has retired on Radion.
Yeah, and that means he'll be starting P10 regardless of what happens, unless John somehow isn't able to set a time. Checkered flag is out.
Yeah, the checkered flag is out.
Llama.
Oh, Llama.
Nearly lost the back end there. So he'll be starting at best P4.
INXO highlighting his message saying, "Oh, come on, I believed in the bull." There's
Here
still a
comes
race.
John. What's he going to do? 43.7. That puts him 200s behind Smooth into P8. Here comes
into P8 goes John.
Edgar's
invalidated.
He'll be starting at best P3. We've got Whippy in the Aston Martin. He's 3/10 up at the moment. He could push Llama down a little further depending on what this final sector's like. Starting to get a bit overcast at the moment. Very smooth on the exit of the bus stop chicane. And he goes P5, 43.4. Here comes Torpedo. He goes P7.
Yeah, Whippy splitting the Alpines, going into 5th. Prudish is on a lap as well. Only 2 hundredths of a second behind first place Low. Can he get into first place?
This is going to be close. Yes, he does! 42.5!
A 42.5 for Prudish medal puts him into pole position for this race. An amazing lap time. Amazing lap time from him. 3/10 ahead of second place Low, who did a 42.9. XRL Edgar in third. 43.2. RB Llama 43.3. XRL Whippy splitting the Alpines with a 43.4. Careless Jackson 6th with a 43.6. Torpedo 7th with a 43.7. Smooth 8th with a 43.7 as well. Only a hundredth behind Torpedo. Jebus John in 9th with a 43.7. Very close between 7th, 8th and 9th actually. And unfortunately for Fable, will be starting in 10th place. The INXO highlighting his message, "Yeah, but the Lone Retreat was so confident with getting pole." Well, if he was confident about getting pole, then he could maybe have the pace to go up the field. Anyway, I'm going to go for a quick break. I'll be back I'll be back soon, so Kenzie will still be here for anything.
Yep. Well, that was a very exciting qualifying session, I would say. So now we just play the waiting game to see who is going to win the race. Zola will be out to get another top 10 finish. If he does, then hats off to him.
Right then, we have about 2 minutes until the race begins. So I'd just like to take this opportunity to talk about the XRL sponsors for this I'd like to take the opportunity to talk about the XRL sponsors. If you like 3D printed sim racing add-ons for the Logitech and Fanatec products, including the G29, the G920 and G923, and other accessories including 3D printed tracks, take a look at ANSI 3D, their website being ansi3d.com. And also CD keys for discounts and latest games. And to know more about them, check out their products at cdkeys.com. I remember last week IPR said that he bought a game that should have been £50 and he got it for 50 pence. So you can get some really, really good discounts as well on there.
Indeed.
And also, the newest sponsor is Driver 61. They offer sim racing tuition, sim racing. Like if you want to improve your sim racing pace, they do group sessions, one-to-one sessions. Their website is driver61.com.
Yeah, and one thing I always do with CD keys for X1 is I have my recommendation of the week from CD keys. Now, the daily deals today have been dominated by FIFA 22 on Xbox and PC because, well, the new FIFA 22 just came out earlier this week. But my recommendation is the Legendary Edition of Mass Effect, a remaster of all 3 games in the Mass Effect trilogy. Commander Shepard trying to save the galaxy from an alien race known as the Reapers. It is, without a doubt, one of the best trilogies I have ever played in my gaming career. Because if it wasn't for Mass Effect, I wouldn't be as into RPGs as I am now. And I have actually been putting a fair bit of time into the Legendary Edition over the last week, and I've found that Insanity difficulty this time around is actually a bit more forgiving compared to the original release of the first Mass Effect back in 2007.
Oh, that's interesting. Usually the that mode is usually pretty difficult, but
Very unforgiving, yeah. But nevertheless, 5 lives.
Anyway,
you guys know what time it is. It's lights out, and it is race time here at Belgium. Relatively clean getaway from everybody, but Lowe already into the lead. Oh, please don't have a repeat of X1. Please don't have a repeat of X1. Everyone seems to go through without much difficulty. Everyone through. And now we just see what's going to happen as far as Orange Radio is concerned. Waldo's been kicked from the session. Migrating host, that is not ideal. Everyone survived Eau Rouge and Radion.
Miracles have happened here in X2.
Yeah. British Metal and Lowe still battling over the lead. I think
they're side by side.
Still side by side, heading up towards the Bruxelles hairpin. Lowe on the outside. And I think he's going to say, oh, they're banging wheels. Contact. They are banging wheels. Somehow no damage between them two. They're still side by side, heading up to Bruon.
Still side by side, and Prudish gets the position in the end. Lowe's got to be careful of Edgar behind him. That's amazing how there wasn't any damage between those two.
Whippy, meanwhile, he's just got himself ahead of Llama. Llama's dropped a couple of positions. Not sure what happened there. But Whippy up into P4, Kelly Jackson into P5 as they come through Stavilo now.
Yellow flag, plastic love.
Oh, that's through Blanchimont.
Plastic love through Blanchimont.
That is really unlucky
DNF
there.
from the session. We have a safety car. As Prudish Medal gets the fastest lap of the race.
I'm actually surprised there isn't a safety car for that. Lone retreat into the pits. That'll be a front wing change.
find Waldo into the pits as well. Just coming up on screen is the predicted pit stop strategy: soft mediums or soft hards. Softs go between 7 and 9 laps. Edgar might be having a look at overtaking XRL low. Not quite close enough. Top 4 drivers might be starting to make a little bit of a gap to 5th place Llama. So Prudish Medal managing to hold on to the lead after overtaking Low. Oh, that's a big crash, RB Llama.
That's Llama! That's Llama through Stavolo. That's a virtual safety car.
Lucky for not to take any other cars out there. Went right back onto the racing line. But he has retired from the session and we have a virtual safety car.
That is really, really unfortunate there for Llama.
And Mr. Anderson goes into the pits.
Does he have any damage? That's the interesting question.
So too does XRL Pelly as well. And also Ocean Line. So 3 drivers going into the pits and under this VSC, and we're now back out of VSC.
Well, that's just a
The
change.
British medal in the lead.
That's just interesting. That Anderson was just a change of tyres. Pelly is a front wing change and a change of tyres. Torpedo's just got himself ahead of Kellis Jackson, heading into Lake Com.
Anderson went onto hard tyres, so maybe trying to get to the end.
Yeah. Ocean Line, he had so with how long he was stationary in that box, he had a front wing change as well. He's gone back out onto a set of softs, interestingly.
So they'll have to do one more pit stop either way. Pelly and Anderson both going on to hard, so they'll be trying to get to the end on those.
No, actually, Ocean Line's already used. Ocean Line actually started on the mediums, so he's now used a second compound. And Jeebus John, he's gone. Oh my word! They're dropping like flies now.
Yeah, Jeebus John retiring from the session.
That was on the exit of the campus complex heading into Stavolo, and Gusty's gone spin out that.
But no safety car, so we have another yellow flag.
Very
green, but that's into green now.
Very surprised
about 8
there wasn't
tenths.
a safety car.
Gap at the front is about 8 tenths. Just watching the battle for 4th place here between Edgar Careless and Torpedo. DRS enabled. Ocean Line's gone.
Oh, that's through Blanchimont. Full safety car now. 4 drivers gone in the space of just 3 laps.
Very unforgiving is this circuit.
Indeed.
One spin and you're into a wall.
Yeah, especially with the, like I mentioned earlier, Eau Rouge, Radion, Huon if you're unlucky enough. You've got Stavolo, Blanchimont.
Sasha, I did not see the X1 start. I've heard that it was a bit chaotic. X1 in general actually was a bit chaotic, but I haven't seen it now.
Well, although like I say, you'll definitely want to watch you'll definitely want to watch that back because oh boy.
Yeah, I'll be checking it out after this race, I believe.
Yeah, because like I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, it is now up on our XRL YouTube channel as well.
Oh, Whippy going into the pits. Let's have a look at what tyres he goes on to.
Edgar Jackson, Torpedo, they've all gone in as well, and Vertex in as well. A set of mediums. Can the mediums go to the end from here?
They go about 18 laps, so I think they could. Yeah, the strategy says about 18 laps. I think drivers could do mediums to the end from here. They are on lap 5, so that leaves 17 to go. And with the safety car, I think it's pretty possible. Prudish, Low and Dino staying out on softs. The Lone Retreat and Fable staying out on softs. So they will all still need to pit. So while the safety car's out, let's take a look at the fastest laps of the race. Currently, it's the fastest lap of the race overall is the Lone Retreat in 11th place with a 46.2. He's in 11th, so inside of the top 10, it would be Vertix in 9th with a 1 minute 49.1. Okay, and that is Prudish, Low and Prudish, Low and Dino into the pits. Mr. Anderson into the pits as well. And Pelly as well into the pits. So Prudish, Low, Anderson, Dino and Pelly come out 12th to 16th respectively. Lone Retreat and Fable, the two Red Bull drivers on soft tyres. Fable actually went onto fresh softs. The Lone Retreat on 3-lap-old softs. Which means Whippy is first.
Wow!
So at the end of this lap, Whippy will be controlling the restart in the Aston Martin. So the safety car should be in at the end of this lap. It'll get called around about now, which it has done. So we'll stay with the leader for this restart.
Here we go, we're back underway now. Lap 7 of 22. Whippy leads, Edgar second, Carlos Jackson third, Torpedo fourth, Vertex fifth, Smooth sixth, Lone Retreat seventh, Fable eighth, Zola ninth, and Gusty rounding up the top 10.
So Lone Retreat and Fable both on fresh soft tyres, should be quicker than the medium runners, but Lone Retreats are about 3 laps older than Smooth in front. But Lone Retreat trying to get close enough to Smooth, goes to the inside and gets the position. So Lone Retreat up into 6th place now. Prudish in 11th, trying to work his way up the grid, nearly going side by side with Gusty. In fact, they are side by side, going into Poo on their side by side. Prudish with the inside line, and Gusty goes wide, so Prudish does go through into 10th place. Gusty dropping all the way down to 13th. Now Mr. Anderson's all over the back of Gusty down the grid. Up near the front, Vertex only about 2 tenths behind Careless Jackson, who himself is only about 4 tenths behind Torpedo, so a battle here for 3rd place between 4 cars, and just behind them Smooth and Lone Retreat bumping wheels. Smooth and Fable, sorry, bumping wheels, and Fable gets the position going into La Source. Vertex can't quite get close enough to overtake Careless. DRS will be enabled from next lap, so maybe that'll help him out a little bit. At the front, Whippy and Edgar in first and second have a 2.5 second lead to gap to 3rd.
Lone Retreat and Vertex meanwhile battling over 5th place, but Vertex managing to stay ahead. And Fable, first time penalty of the day.
Yeah, Fable with that 3 seconds. And with the grid still pretty bunched together, if it stays like this, then he might be in a little bit of trouble.
Low's drop positions and he's gone!
No.
He's gone, he's actually gone!
Low DNFs from the session, and we have another safety car.
I think he collected Gusty in the process. Indeed he has. Gusty has no front wing whatsoever. And that was on the exit of the campus complex. That is really unlucky there for Lowe. That's 2 races running tonight that he's had misfortunes plaguing him throughout the race. Fable, Smooth and Waldo all coming into the pits now. And Gusty will have to come in because, well, he's got no front wing.
drivers who are pitting should have fresh mediums. Smooth going on to hard tyres. Doesn't need to go onto hard tyres to get to the end. And Gusty also going onto hard tyres. Unlucky low. It was going...
Indeed.
Vertex with a 5-second penalty for colliding with Careless Jackson.
No, it's Jackson that's got the penalty.
Oh, my apologies. My apologies. Jackson gets the penalty.
I would imagine because that took place under a safety car, I would imagine Jackson will hopefully be able to get that penalty removed.
Hopefully, yeah. Usually it's the car behind who's at fault for that.
Indeed. I mean, I've actually had a couple of those incidents myself, both in XRL and in other leagues elsewhere.
Yeah, never fun when you get them because you have to serve it when you go into the pits, which means you just lose time either way.
Yeah.
Let's have it. So the Lone Retreat still has the fastest lap of the race with a 1:46.2. He's now inside of the top 10. So outside the top 10, it's Find Waldo, 14th place with a 1:48.0.
But of course, we'll be expecting those lap times to start coming down towards the end of the race.
Yeah, of course, by the end of the race, especially if there's a late safety car, drivers going onto soft tyres and low fuel, means that...
And then it's just a flat-out sprint to the finish.
Yes. Yeah, it's a sprint to the finish at that point. Whippy's still in first. Edgar is in second and Torpedo in third. Careless fourth. Vertix fifth. Lone Retreat 6th, Prudish 7th, Zola into 8th, Dino in 9th, Anderson 10th. Let's take a look at the position change. Zola gaining 12 places. Started last. He's currently in the top 10, like he said he would be.
He'll probably be sitting with a big Cheshire Cat grin on his face that he's like, my DNF fortunes have risen once again.
Yeah, he'll be really pleased with that one. Pelly gaining 8 places, Vertix gaining 8 places as well. So they're the big winners so far in this race. Only 2 time penalties so far. Careless Jackson with a 5-second penalty that could be coming off after the race, and Fable with a 3-second penalty.
Safety car in this lap.
Whippy once again controlling the restart. Dino gets a 5-second penalty for colliding with Anderson. And I think Anderson gets the same. I'm not actually sure what's happening back there. They look to be very close together. know it's a restart, but do still need to leave space.
Yeah, and Anderson ended up, I believe Anderson ended up with penalties, but yeah, Anderson got the same penalty as well.
Yeah, both drivers with 5 seconds, but we are back underway. And Edgar is very close to Whippy going as they're about to go up Eau Rouge and Radion.
There was no DRS until 2 laps after the safety car restart. Edgar, he's having a go at Whippy. He's going to try down the outside of the Kemper Straight, heading up to Lake Hall, trying every trick in the book. Whippy's been using the ERS, as has Edgar, but Whippy, crucially, able to stay ahead.
Yeah, really good defending from Whippy. Manages to get rid of the space that there might have been. A little bit further back, Prudish is only 2/10 behind the lone retreat. Torpedo with 3 seconds, Pelly with 3 seconds.
Now the penalties are starting to rack up here.
Going to stay with Edgar and Whippy as they head into Sector 3. Edgar with 3 seconds. We're halfway through the race. And Whippy and Edgar are fighting for the lead.
But as it stands, Whippy can go a little easy now, knowing that second, third and fourth have penalties behind them.
Yeah, with the time penalties, Whippy only has to stay within 3 seconds of second, third and fourth to be able to get those positions back. The lone retreat as well, looking in a very good position. We have a yellow flag, Prudish medal.
That's Prudish medal. That was our pole sitter. The pole sitter is out of the race. Radion has claimed another victim tonight.
And no safety cars, so we're still racing. That's a big DNF for this race. Prudish medal, like you said, Kenzie, our pole sitter, is out of the race.
Which could be pivotal with the constructors, and we're not even halfway through the season yet.
Yeah, it could be. It could really make a difference to the constructors. Speaking of the constructors, actually, Careless Jackson's in 4th place in Alpine, and Alpine are currently sitting last in the constructors, so getting some points. And that's Mr. Anderson! Oh, Mr. Anderson!
That's another safety car. He's right on the racing line, so good call for the safety car coming out here.
Yeah, good call there.
Takes the opportunity to come into the pits, as does everybody else behind him. Whippy, Torpedo, Jackson, Lone Retreat, Vertex, Dino. Is Zola going to follow suit? Yes, he does. That'll put Fable into P2. Dusty and Smooth elect to stay out.
So Whippy returns out of the pits in 4th position.
He just gets ahead of Smooth as well.
Yeah, it was a tight gap, but he got there. It was a tight gap that he was going to come out in, but he made it. Whippy, with drivers in front of him on medium and hard tyres, could be in a position here to get a podium, at least a podium from this race. 6th down to 13th are all on fresh softs as well. It's only 4 drivers and not on those soft tyres.
And those soft tyres will go to the end. from here.
Yeah, they should get to the end from here. There's about 8 or 9 laps left in this race. And we are currently under safety car. So yeah, they will get to the end of the race.
Yeah. So with the F1 circus next week, with 7 races to go between Hamilton and Verstappen for the championship, only 2 points separating them with 7 races to go. This is going to be anyone's guess who's going to win the title, because Toto has said that if Lewis is to win his record 8th championship, he cannot afford to DNF at any point from here on out. Because all it's going to take is one DNF, potentially like we saw at Monza, to change the course of the championship.
Yeah, if Hamilton were to DNF, that would give Verstappen a really, really good chance at winning the title, and Mercedes can't afford to do that. If they want, and obviously Hamilton will want to win his 8th title, but if he wants to win it, he's going to have to work super, super hard to get there.
Yeah, because this has been, without a doubt, in recent years especially, the most exciting championship battle that we've seen in recent years, and that's without taking into account the rivalry between Hamilton and Rosberg through like 2014 to 2016, the battle between Hamilton and Massa 2008, that 3-way battle in 2007, the climax in 2010. I mean, there's a lot of championship deciders in that mix.
There is, yeah. I think this is the most exciting season we've had since maybe Hamilton versus Vettel in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, Vettel's DNF at his home race, that to me was the game changer for that season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
Vettel never recovered from that.
Nah, once I feel like it was the season break that changed it. Like something clicked in Hamilton, and he just went that extra step.
Yeah.
He went that extra. He put that little bit of extra effort in, found a little bit of extra pace in the car, and just made it work.
So maybe the same thing could be happening here.
You never know. I mean, with Prudish DNFing, this opens it up completely for drivers like Find Waldo and Dino and any of the other top 5 drivers.
Yeah. So safety car should be coming in at the end of this lap. The soft runners are going to be at a huge advantage compared to those around it, especially an advantage over Gusty and Smooth, as safety car is coming in this lap. We're going to be on lap 15 once we get back underway. It'll be Edgar in the lead, with Fable in second, Gusty third, Whippy fourth, Smooth in fifth, Torpedo sixth, Lone Retreat 7th, Vertix 8th, Kellis Jackson 9th, and Zola rounding up the top 10. And then you've got Pelly, Dino. I pronounced it Dino because that's how it's pronounced in the Flintstones.
Yeah, I always pronounce it Dino as well. Like Dino, same thing.
6
really,
and a half a dozen.
It is.
Nevertheless, Edgar becomes the de facto safety car. Safety car is in. When is Edgar going to drop the hammer? He has bunched the field up quite a fair bit, and now he drops the hammer, and away he goes. What a restart from Edgar!
That's a great restart. He's already 8/10 ahead of Fable.
And Torpedo, and there's that soft tyre advantage coming into play right out the gate on the restart. Smooth's already dropped a couple of positions. I would expect him to drop at least 2 or 3 more on the Kemmel Straight. Because I mean, look how fast those soft tyres are compared to the hard, but
Vertex.
Smooth, trying everything he can to keep Vertex behind him. He's going to have the inside line heading into Lake Con, but the soft tyres have so much more grip. They get up to temperature so much quicker, and Vertex just said, "Thank you very much. I'll have a bit of that," and sayonara, Smooth into P7.
And now Smooth has Careless Jackson behind him.
Not just that, he's got a train of cars behind him. Careless Jackson, Zola, Pelly, Dino, and Waldo all looking to take advantage of his mistakes. And Gusty's gone!
Gusty!
Oh, and I think that was Whippy that made contact. I think
Gusty.
Whippy made contact with Gusty. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah, Gusty drops down to 13.
Someone did clip Gusty. Thankfully, no damage. Just a knock to his pride, and he's now 13th and last for the time being.
Yeah, if I was Gusty now, I'd be thinking, let's get on those soft tyres and try and get a point from this race, get the fastest lap. Careless all over the back of Smooth now.
Absolutely, yeah. Because you've got because of course there's 2 points for fastest lap. You've got a point for the fastest lap inside the top 10, and then you've got a point for the fastest lap outside the top 10 as well.
Yeah, you do. So if I was Gusty, I'd be thinking maybe trying to get a point from this race and do that.
No, Gusty stays out still.
Oh, Gusty stays out, so maybe leave. Yeah, maybe thinking he can catch up. I'm not sure there. And somehow Smooth stays ahead of Careless after the Kemmel Straight.
Well, of course, DRS hasn't been enabled. Hasn't re-enabled yet. It'll be enabled on the next lap.
Of course. Once it gets re-enabled, it's going to be tough.
Smooth's in trouble.
I think he might be. I think he could be. Already the gap in front of him is 2.2 seconds to Vertex. Careless still all over the back of Smooth. Can Careless try and make a move into the pit stop chicane? He looks like he's close enough to maybe pull out to one side. He goes on the... no, he didn't go on the outside.
Wasn't quite close enough.
DRS has been enabled now.
Here we go. Torpedo fastest lap race with the 46.2. As it stands, he'll get the bonus point for the fastest lap of the race. But here we go.
Side by side.
Jackson. Storms.
Wow. Gets past
run
before.
down to Eau Rouge.
Gets past before Eau Rouge. I thought they were going to go side by side for a second. Behind them as well. Behind them, Pelly and Zola.
Oh, and Zola drops 2 places just like that. I mean, you'd have to be clinically insane to go side by side up Eau Rouge and Marion. I mean, Weber Alonso, anyone?
I mean, if you
I think Zola's got a bit of damage.
Yeah, he might do. He might have a bit of damage. He looks to be dropping back a fair bit.
He's not showing any damage, but we have seen it happen previously that he has that even though visually there's no damage, that you can still feel the effects of less wing parts on the car.
Yeah, the lightest touch can have massive effects, and this big contact.
And that's Waldo.
Contact between Waldo and maybe Dino. I know Pelly and Waldo were side by side. Dino just behind them. But Waldo spins. The lone retreat has got past Torpedo. And now Pelly and Dino are side by side. Into the bus stop.
Bus stop chicane. Dino turned himself ahead.
Yeah, Dino gets ahead of Pelly. These drivers battling is helping out Smooth, helping him make a little bit of a gap.
And Zola has had to come in. He does have damage.
Yeah, Zola.
That's a real shame. And Fable's got
Fable.
Radion. That's another victim.
Radion.
Another victim of Radion.
It claims another victim. Doesn't look like there's a safety car coming out. No.
Not at this late stage in the race anyway. So I think Zola may as well have just... I think with what happened with Zola, he has lost any hope of getting a top 10 finish here. We'll just have to hope that he can get the fastest lap of the race outside the top 10, which he should be able to do.
Oh yeah. With Gusty not pitting for softs, it's pretty simple for Zola on fresh soft tyres to get the point. Try and recover what he can from this race. Smooth still in 7th place. Up at the front though, Whippy, 210, Whippy breaks his wing.
What on earth was going on there?
Oh dear.
That is really unlucky there from Whippy.
Whippy just over a 10th behind Edgar, loses traction on the curb on the left-hander. Lucky not to DNF.
Yeah, especially through one of
he
the,
nearly crashed into the
especially
pit
through
lane.
one of the fastest sections of the track.
Yeah, and he nearly crashed into the pit lane as well, just for good measure.
Who knows?
But now the lone retreat is 3/10 behind Edgar.
And crucially, Lone Retreat does not have any penalties.
No, he doesn't. So even if he doesn't manage to get past, if he can keep this gap, he will be going into first place. Smooth started to find a little bit of pace in these hard tyres. Well, he's less than a second behind Pelly. Well, he was a second ago.
It has taken a while for those hard tyres to get up to temperature.
Yeah, but he's holding his own. He's holding his own in 8th place at the minute, with only 3 laps to go. So looks like there's a top 10 for him if he can keep it going. So at the front, Lone Retreat less than 3/10, or around about 3/10 behind Edgar. He's on faster tyres.
Here we go. 3 laps
Lone
to
Retreat.
go. Oh, manages to keep it out of the wall, but that has lost him a lot of time.
Yeah, it's lost him about a second. Lucky not to go into a wall and stay in 2nd place as well. He's got a little bit of extra protection as well, with Torpedo in 3rd also having a time penalty.
There is that, yeah, but he's not going to have any DRS on Edgar heading down the Camel Straight, but Torpedo will have DRS on Lone Retreat, but he's not close enough to make any sort of impact. So it's as you were for the top 4 for the time being.
Fine Waldo, less than a 10th, gets past Smooth for 8th place. So Smooth down into 9th, Waldo up into 8th. A little bit further down the grid. Lone Retreat though, already half a second behind. So already caught up by about 7 or 8 tenths in the first sector and a half after that spin. Lone Retreat with about 40% ERS. Edgar with about 16% ERS. So Lone Retreat has an advantage there, and DRS is wide open. Doesn't go for a move into La Source. If you were Kenzie, if you were the Lone Retreat, would you go for the overtake or would you stick behind? It looks like he's going for the overtake and gets the position. So Kenzie, in that, if you was in the Lone Retreat spot there, would you be sticking behind or going for the overtake? If you're there. No worries. So, Lone Retreat in first place of this race, winning the race. Edgar, medium tyres, held out for a very long time, but they're getting older. Has second place at the minute. Second, third and fourth have the same amount of time penalties, so no worries there for losing it. Although Edgar's just got another 3 seconds, so he could lose that. As it stands, he's losing third and maybe, second and maybe even third. Pelly has 6 seconds of penalties, so Waldo and maybe Smooth overtaking him as well. But we are starting the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix in X2. Lone Retreat leads, he's 7/10 ahead of Edgar in second. At this point in time, it's the Lone Retreat's race to lose, or his to win. All he has to do is keep it clean for this last lap, and he will win the race. Fine, Waldo's only 6/10 behind, or 7/10 behind Perley on this final lap as well. So maybe he could try and... Oh, he doesn't need to make a move on Pelly, does he? Because Pelly has a time penalty. So the leader starts Sector 3. Into the bus stop chicane he goes. And the Lone Retreat wins the Belgian Grand Prix. Vertix in second, Edgar third, Torpedo fourth, Careless Jackson fifth, Dino sixth, Waldo seventh, Pelly eighth. Smooth goes up to eighth, overtakes Pelly, so Pelly's in ninth now. Gusty in 10th, Whippy 11th, and Zola, which comes up to the end of the final bus stop chicane, goes into the pit lane to finish this race. Takes out the speed marker board, that is what we like to see. That should be worth a point right there. In-game driver of the day is Find Waldo. Surprising, interesting one. So there we are. The Lone Retreat wins the race. Vertix in second. Zola being top 10 for all race, then get hit and end of. Yeah, unlucky. He was doing really well until then as well. But Edgar is in third, Torpedo fourth, Jackson fifth, Dino sixth, Waldo seventh, Smooth eighth, Pelly ninth, Gusty 10th, Whippy with the fastest lap in 11th, and Zola 12th. Inside of the top 10, the extra point will go to the Lone Retreat with a 45.3. Zola, every race I get it, fed up with it. I know what you mean. I do know what you mean. It's not fun when you get damage. It's like in XRL yesterday with myself. If you get damage, then it's, you know, especially around Belgium as well, you know, you get damage and or you get spun and you end up in a wall, or you get wing damage and you have to pit, and it's just not fun. Anyway, I have been XRL Fiend. I have been joined by Kenzie Retro, if he is here. If not, then
I had my mic switched off. That helps.
No worries.
Yeah, but anyway, that is it for this weekend's XRL coverage. Tomorrow, ARL heads to Baku, and then from Wednesday, from Tuesday, we've got European Formula Racing, we've got Formula 2, we've got Premier Racing League, and then Saturday we do it all over again with the Dev League, the XRL 100% race distance, and then the Sunday X1, X2, X3 from Zandvoort. But next week's coverage is going to be next week's coverage for the for Zandvoort will be starting on Tuesday with the European Formula Racing. ARL is going to be heading to Baku tomorrow night, so definitely stay tuned for that. It's just a random grid for 50% race distance. But until then, folks, good night and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. It's been fun.